What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're going in with a tier list and we're looking at the most autistic fighters in the UFC. That's right, there's a bunch of fighters in the UFC and a lot of them are probably autistic or on the spectrum, at least a little bit going on in the head in the UFC fighters. You have to be autistic to do well in the UFC, let's be honest. And that's going to be evident with all of these fighters because pretty much all of them are top ranked. So yeah, lots of autistic fighters in the UFC. We've got 5 tiers. We've got King of the Autists, Extremely Autistic, Very Autistic, Slightly Autistic, and then Touch of the Tism, just for those that are, bit on the spectrum. But I myself am probably autistic. I think every other MMA YouTuber probably is as well. Like, it's just part of the job description. So yeah, let's get underway. And we're going to start off with the first fighter, and I'm going to go with Hamza Cham. I think he's slightly autistic. Look, I know there's like a lack of fluent English in there, so that could come across as part of it, but this guy has sudden aggressive outbursts, he growls, he makes weird noises, he's just a bit odd as well, and yeah, he also has a bit of social kind of oddness as well. You know, the video of him when he was skiing and stuff, that is only something that an autistic person would do. The way he tried to talk to that chick that was skiing, very autistic from Hamza Cham. But apart from that, he hasn't displayed too many autistic patterns. He just like a lot of expressions, a lot of sounds, noises, all of that kind of thing. Just leads me to believe he's a little bit autistic. But another fighter that we have is Cannonier. He's very autistic. Look, the guy doesn't talk much. He's got like definite social anxiety, and that is, some of them they talk too much. And then Cannonier is one of the ones that he just doesn't talk. When he does talk, it's like you can kind of hear it in his voice. He's just a very socially anxious person. He talks about crystals and stuff a lot as well. He's got some weird things going on in that head of his. But yeah, Cannonier, I think he's very autistic. Just look at the guy. Hear him speak, hear him talk. He just definitely sounds autistic to me. But another fighter that we have is Dominic Cruz. I'm going to go with very autistic for Dominic Cruz. I was thinking about going with extremely, but we're going to put him in very autistic for now. His commentary and the way he just talks and stuff leads me to believe he's extremely autistic. Like, he feels the need to kind of butt into a lot of conversations. He feels the need to like make his point heard above other people's. I don't know if that's even autism. That just might be him being like liking the sound of his own voice too much. But he makes some fucking retarded statements and stuff like that. Oh, I shouldn't have said retarded. Okay, fucking hell. But yeah, Dominic Cruz, his voice, just hearing him talk, you gotta fucking be honest, he's definitely a bit autistic. He's in a cult as well, a little bit of autism there, probably. I don't know. The explanations for this is gonna be purely just fucking waffle, but yeah, you know what I mean. Dominic Cruz is autistic. The next fighter that we have here is Johnny Walker. I'm gonna go with Touch of the Tism. Johnny Walker, I think a lot of the stuff he does that seems like he might be autistic is just like he's kind of acting funny, but there is still definitely some autism there. The way he looks and stuff, just the expressions, there are things that only someone who's got a little bit mentally not there would appear to do, I guess. Yeah, Johnny Walker, man, just he talks and stuff. He's just a bit autistic, you got to be honest. But yeah, I don't think he's overly like super autistic. But the next fighter that we have here is Shan Strickland. He's going in extremely autistic. Cannot control what he says. Just fucking loves talking a lot. It's weird though, because he's talked about on Joe Rogan how he doesn't want to go out because he doesn't want to put himself in situations like that. That is also another kind of characteristic of autism. A lot of people don't like being, maybe that's just like social anxiety or being an introvert, but like he just goes out, he doesn't want to go out a lot, but then when he is there and when he's in the spotlight, he'll talk, he'll get the center of attention and stuff. He'll make a lot of crazy statements. I think he's definitely a little bit autistic. Maybe he's just psychotic, I'm not sure. But the line between those two things is pretty thin. So the next fighter that we have here is Cory Sandhagen. He's going to also go in extremely autistic. Again, hear the guy talk, look at him. He's just a bit quirky. He's just a little bit odd, a little bit weird. Cory Sandhagen, we love him for it. He's a great fighter, but definitely autistic. Yeah, if you just hear him talk, man, he gives me kind of like the MMA, not as nerdy, but like the MMA version of like the Mikey Musumeci or whatever the guy's name is. Like, he gives me those kind of vibes. Like, he's obsessed with getting better at his craft, which is good. Like, that's very good. But the way he talks about it and stuff, he's so in depth, he's so in detail. He's kind of got that level of knowledge that, you know how some people, you'll just have something where you'll just be really good at it, you'll just know a lot about it, and you don't even need to try that much, you'll just remember shit. That's like Cory Sandhagen. He just processes so much stuff. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to MMA, and definitely autistic in that respect too. But another fighter that we have here is Tony Ferguson. I'm going to put him in slightly autistic. Look, I do think some of it is autism, and then a lot of it I think is CTE. I think there's some schizophrenia there, which again, like there's a spectrum there, and then some kind of merged with others. But Tony Ferguson, definitely a little bit autistic, you know, just odd behavioral patterns and stuff. He talks just a bit funny. Interesting kind of social, I guess, or verbal patterns and stuff when he's talking to people in his media days and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I think he's just a bit... It's sad though, he's just a little bit mentally not all there. I think there is a lot of CTE as well, so unfortunate for Ferguson. But the next fighter that we have here is Brandon Moreno. He's going to go on extremely autistic. You already know the Lego obsession, how he talks, everything about him, his facial expressions. This guy is definitely autistic. Don't need to explain it much more. The next fighter that we have here is Alex Pereira. I'm going to go with slightly autistic. This guy, I know he doesn't speak fluent English, but his vocabulary is limited to like 3 words. It's Sharma, Luta, and Desanya. Like, that's all he... And then just like, just grunts. Like, Pereira is definitely autistic. He just kind of stares at people. Maybe that's just him being a Chad, but I don't know. There's definitely some odd... you know, odd social kind of things there with Pereira. But the next fighter that we have here is Bobby Green. He's going to go with touch of the tism. You know, just the way he talks, I just feel like there's a little bit of spectrum there. Like, he just seems like a little bit interesting. Probably a little bit of CTA as well mixed in. That's where the line does become hard to draw. You don't really know who's just riddled with CTA and then who's just a little bit autistic. But I don't know, the way this guy talks, it just sounds a little bit interesting. That's all. That's just my opinion. But another fighter that we have here is Tom Aspinall. He's also going to go in touch of the tism. He's British, so, like, are you British or are you autistic or are you both? Like, that's kind of the thing there with the British people. But yeah, Aspinall, definitely a little bit weird, like, with the thing with Nina. I know he was making a joke and stuff, but, like, very out of pocket kind of thing to say. Very random. Also, yeah, he's British, so he's definitely just a bit autistic, to be honest. You can ask MMA Guru, he'll tell you. Everyone in England, they're just a bit autistic. And that is the same goes for this fighter, Arnold Allen. He's going to go in extremely autistic, though, because Arnold Allen, this guy, listen to him talking, he's like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to the fight, you know. Like, he just, he just talks like I don't know, it's so weird. He sounds like he doesn't want to, like, speak to you. He's so, like, he seems very shy when he talks, but also, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Arnold Allen, you see the video of him, like, he's just, you've seen a bunch of videos of him, photos as well. He just looks autistic too. Yeah, Arnold Allen, interesting guy. We love him for it though, great fighter. The next fighter is Mateusz Gamrot. He's going in very autistic. If you hear this guy talk, I know Rigo's made this video already, and he highlighted how, like, when he talks in his interview, he says, like, I am Mateusz Gamrot of Poland. Like, he introduces himself, like, his full title. Like, it's like, I am Left Lane MMA of Australia. Like, no one says that. It's just very odd. Also, the video of him, like, choking out that, like, Polish journalist or whatever. Very interesting behavior. He looks kind of funny. Definitely looks a little bit autistic. His voice definitely does sound a little bit interesting as well. That's just my opinion again. The next fighter that we have here is Islam Makhachev. He's going to go in touch of the tism. Because Makhachev, look, again, you know how I've been talking about, is it CTE? Is it schizophrenia? Is it this? I think with Makhachev, it's like, is it autism or is it inbred characteristics? And I think it's a bit of both, but I think there is a hint of autism there. Just the expressions that he makes, he looks off into the distance. He looks so lost a lot of the time. Yeah, I think he's just a bit autistic, a little bit on the spectrum. But again, probably every fighter in the UFC is. I'm just kind of highlighting the more notable ones. Another fighter that is probably autistic is Curtis Blades. I'm going to put him in. I'm thinking of very autistic. I'm going to go at the top of slightly autistic, though. He's got, like, a stutter with his voice and stuff. He's talked about having, like, social anxiety. He doesn't like speaking too much. Again, it presents itself in different ways from what I know. because sometimes you like be overly talky and you want to get involved in conversations and stuff, and sometimes it's like you have hard time talking, you got hard time introducing yourself, you don't really like communicating with people, and I think that's what Curtis Blades has pretty clearly. He's just, look at him as well, he's just a bit interesting, a little bit autistic, as all fighters are, as I've already said. But another fighter that we have is Chris Curtis. Touch of the tism, I don't know, just some of his talking patterns and stuff. He gets sensitive very easily. He gets annoyed by a lot of things, like, I don't know, probably just a little bit autistic. Again, all fighters are, but Chris Curtis, yeah, touch of the tism for Mr. Chris. But the next fighter is Gilbert Burns. He's going to go in slightly autistic. We love Gilbert Burns. We love Mr. Dorino. But yeah, a little bit autistic. He changes his hairstyle every like 2 days. Every time you see him at UFC events, every time. He's a good guy, family man. But yeah, some of his talky patterns and stuff, how he speaks, a little bit interesting. I just think Burns, if you look at him, my explanations for this are complete dog shit. I don't even know how to explain it, but everyone knows what I mean. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Gilbert Burns is definitely a little bit autistic. But yeah. The next fighter that we have here is Justin Gaethje. He's going to go in very autistic. It's, again, a lot of CTE, a lot of intergenerational copper poisoning, but also the expressions that this guy makes are just so interesting. A little bit inbred too. How he talks and stuff, how he looks. I think Gaethje's pretty autistic, let's be real. But another fighter that we have here is Yuri Prohaska. He's going to go in the top of extremely autistic. Now, you guys might have thought he was going to be number one, but I'll reveal that at the end of the video. Yuri Prohaska, he has like multiple personality disorder, I think. He thinks he's a samurai. Maybe he is a samurai. I'm not sure. The way he talks and stuff too, he's just very interesting. How he dresses, how he looks, what he does, everything. His fighting style is just autistic. He's just a very interesting guy. Definitely a little bit of schizophrenia there too, probably, I'd imagine. But yeah, Yuri Prohaska, very interesting fella. But the next fighter that we have here is Sean O'Malley. He's going to go in very autistic. This guy is incapable of being charismatic. He tries to like talk well, and he's just incapable of doing it. He tries to make things and be funny and like get involved in the conversation and get some laughs, get some eyes on him, and he just fails to do so every time. He always talks like a fucking retard. Again, I can't even get demonetized because my channel's already not monetized, so I don't care, I can say whatever I want. But yeah, O'Malley, definitely a little bit of autistic, a little bit of beta characteristics as well, you know, letting his wife sleep with his friends. But yeah, that's Sean O'Malley, interesting kind of guy. But yeah, you know what I mean, how he talks and stuff, he's just not confident speaking socially. You can tell how he talks at the press conference, he's not really want to be there too much. But yeah, another fighter that we have here is Marvin Vettori. He's going to go in, I'm going to put him in slightly autistic. Marvin Vettori, actually no, very autistic. Marvin Vettori, extreme outbursts of anger. He gets very aggressive very easily. Forgot to put his shorts on the right way. Looks just a bit autistic. He's got that block head. That's probably part of the inbred too. Again, all of these fighters, you could honestly explain their behavior and their looks and stuff with other, with anything else. Like Vettori's like inbred, CTE, schizophrenia. You can explain all of this with a lot of other like things, but I think Vettori is definitely a little bit autistic. But the next fighter that we have here is Steve Erceg. He's gonna go in slightly autistic. Mr. Erceg, he probably is more than slightly autistic, to be honest, but we just haven't seen a lot of him so far. But just hearing him talk, he's got a little bit of a lisp, so do I. But yeah, Steve Erceg, how he talks, he doesn't sound super like confident when he speaks. Sounds a little bit refined. So yeah, I reckon he's a little bit autistic. But another fighter that we have here is Leon Edwards. He's going to go in extremely autistic. Again, how he talks, social anxiety when he speaks, mumbles over his words a little bit, stumbles over his words. When he was talking to Nino, he's just like, "Are you Arab?" Like, it's just like random statements out of nowhere, kind of a thing for him to say. But yeah, Leon Edwards, we know he's autistic. That's why he's what it is. That's why he's relatable, you know. We can all relate to Leon Edwards. But another fighter that we have here is Alonzo Menafield. He's going to go in touch of the tism. his coach is Pat Barry, which is already a red flag as it is. But Pat Barry has to speak to him in a black accent. It's almost like he doesn't understand what people are saying. He also has talked about being socially anxious, doesn't like talking too much. Yeah, Alonzo Menafield, touch of autism. But you've been waiting for the #1 spot. You've been waiting for who is the king of the autists, and it is a recent entry into the UFC. It is Gene Silva, the man with the most interesting and craziest and wackiest post-fight interview in the sport. He came out, walkout took like 20 minutes. He's doing this just like him walkout, like he's just walking out slowly, taking up all the energy, all of that. Enters the cage, beats the fuck out of this anorexic crackhead, Weston Wilson. Gets on his post-fight interview, re-demonstrates what happened in the fight. Grabs his coach over and re-demonstrates. Puts his glasses on I think it was the translator. Then he puts his glasses on the ring, the physician or whatever. Screams, barks at the camera, makes a very interesting kind of interview, and then he just dips and refuses to elaborate. Gene Silva, extremely autistic, king of the autists, I would say. Yuri Prohaska, definitely an argument to be there, but I'm pretty happy with this list. If there's any changes you would make, let me know in the comments. But extremely autistic, we got Cory, Strickland, Sandhagen, Moreno, Allen, and Edwards. In very autistic, we got Gamut, Cruz, Cannonier, Gaethje, O'Malley, and Vettori. Slightly autistic, we got Blades, Hamza, Ferguson, Pereira, Burns, and Urseg. And then touch of the tism, we've got Aspinall, Islam, Johnny Walker, Bobby Green, Chris Curtis, and Alonzo Menafield. So that is the tier list, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I asked on the channel who wanted to see this, and a lot of people said yes. I know other people have already done similar kind of concepts, but I wanted to do it myself, and I did way more fighters than they did, so fuck it. I did it better, but stay tuned for more videos coming soon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.